In this video, we will be doing two-step dimensional analysis. So our first question, 40,000 millimeters to kilometers. So we want to start, like we usually do, by writing out our conversion factors. So in 1 meter, there are 1,000 millimeters, and in 1 kilometer, there are 1,000 meters. The next thing we do is write down what we're converting on the left-hand side of our page. Next, we want to set up as many fractions as we have conversion factors. And this is two-step dimensional analysis, so we've got 2 conversion factors. So we set up 2 fractions. Next, we want to do seek over have. So we have millimeters, and we're going to seek meters first. So we're going to put this first conversion factor in the first fraction. Now we have meters, and we're seeking kilometers, so we're going to use the second conversion factor in the second fraction. Next, we cancel out repeated units on top and bottom. So millimeters and millimeters cancel out, meters and meters cancel out. We end up with kilometers, which is what we wanted to end up with. Next, we multiply everything on the top and divide by what's on the bottom. So on the top, we have 40,000 times 1 times 1, which is just 40,000. On the bottom, we have 1,000 times 1,000, which is 1,000,000. Then we divide these two numbers, and we end up with 0.04 kilometers. Now this one would definitely be one where it's easier to use the moving the decimal method, but you do need to learn how to do two-step dimensional analysis. Number 2, we're going to do 300 feet, 2 kilometers. So our 2 conversion factors. First, and second. So our first conversion factor is 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. Our second is 1 mile equals 1.61 kilometers. Next step, write down what we're converting on the left-hand side of our page. Next step, write as many fractions as we have conversion factors. 2 conversion factors, 2 fractions. Next, we want to do seek over have. So we have feet, and we're seeking miles. So we do feet on the bottom, miles on the top. Now we have miles, and we're seeking kilometers. So we do 1 mile on the bottom, 1.61 kilometers on the top. Again, that just came from our conversion factors. Our first conversion factor went in this fraction. Our second conversion factor went in this fraction. Next, we want to multiply everything on the top and divide by everything on the bottom. Oh wait, we want to cancel out repeated units. Sorry about that. So feet and feet cancel out, miles and miles cancel out. We're left with kilometers, which is what we want to end up with. Okay, now we multiply everything on the top and divide by everything on the bottom. So we do 300 times 1 times 1.61. Make sure you're doing order of operations here. And you should get 483. On the bottom, you're doing 5,280 times 1. So that goes on the bottom here. Then you do 483 divided by 5,280. And you should get 0.091 kilometers. Third problem is going to be a little bit trickier. So we're doing 50 kilometers per hour, 2 meters per second. So first, 1 kilometer is going to equal 1,000 meters. And our second conversion factor is 1 hour equals 3,600 seconds. And I'm probably going to abbreviate that as S when I do the problem. Now, this 3,600 comes from there are 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour. 60 times 60 is 3,600. All right, next step, we want to write down what we're converting on the left-hand side of our page. To do that, we want to think about what 50 kilometers per hour actually means. It means that you can do 50 kilometers in 1 hour. So whenever you see a slash there, that letter will go on the bottom. So basically 50 kilometers in 1 hour. So we're going to have units on the top and bottom. We'll have some time units and some distance units. Distance, time, distance, time. I usually start with distance. Let's set up our two fractions for our two conversion factors first. So we still want to do seek over have for distance. So 1 kilometer, we already have kilometers, so that goes on the bottom. We are seeking meters. So that goes on the top. Now, we want to put this hour, this conversion factor, where it'll cancel out with this hour. So here's our exception to the seek over have rule. When there's a slash, it's going to be have over seek. So we have hours, so that goes on the top. We're seeking seconds, so that goes on the bottom. And I'm just abbreviating the seconds as S. So let's cancel out repeated units on top and bottom. So this H cancels out with this H. Remember, that's hours. This kilometers cancels out with that kilometers there. And we end up with meters over seconds, which is what we want to end up with. Meters per second, M/S. Now we do what we normally do. We multiply everything on the top, divide by everything on the bottom. So we do 50 times 1,000 times 1, which is going to be 50,000. Then we do 1 times 3,600. Then we will divide these two numbers, and you should get 13.89 meters per second. Number 4, we're going to go from meters per second to kilometers per hour. Luckily, we have the same conversion factors that we did before. rate what we're converting on the left-hand side. This times that 1 second will go on the bottom. 22 meters per second means you can go 22 meters in 1 second. Set up our two fractions. Start with distance. We want to do seek over have. We have meters. That goes on the top. We are seeking kilometers. That goes on the bottom. Now remember, this is our exception. We're actually going to want to end up doing have over seek. Sorry, we needed the seconds there. We have seconds, and we're seeking hours. Now let's cancel out repeated units on top and bottom. So these seconds and seconds cancel out. And did you guys catch my mistake? This needed to be switched. Sorry about that. Meters and meters cancel out. Okay, I apologize for that. So we end up with kilometers per hour, which is what we wanted to end up with. Now we multiply everything on the top and divide by everything on the bottom. So on the top, we'll be doing 22 times 1 times 3,600. And you should get 79,200. Then on the bottom, you want to do 1 times 1,000 times 1. So you just get 1,000. Then you divide those two numbers and you get 79.2 kilometers per hour. One more problem. This one's the trickiest. This is actually 3-step dimensional analysis. And we're going to be going 80 miles per hour, 2 meters per second, we've got 3 conversion factors. So we want 1 mile equals 1.61 kilometers. 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. And 1 hour equals 3,600 seconds. Okay, then we write down what we're converting on the left-hand side. So 80 miles per hour means in 1 hour you can go 80 miles. So you can go 80 miles in 1 hour. We've got 3 fractions. We have 3 conversion factors. So we want to set up 3 fractions. Okay, so for the distance, we want to do seek over have. So we have miles, and we're seeking kilometers. So we do 1 mile on the bottom, have, and 1.61 kilometers, seek. Then we have kilometers, and we're seeking meters. So we have kilometers, bottom, seeking meters, top. Now for the time units, it's different. You want to do have over seek. So 1 hour, we have, and we're seeking seconds. Okay, let's cancel out repeated units on top and bottom. So miles, miles, kilometers, kilometers, then hours, and hours. And we're left with meters and seconds, which is what we want to end up with. Okay, now we multiply everything on the top and divide by what's on everything on the bottom. So we do 80 times 1.61 times 1,000, and you should get that should be an 8 there, 128,800. And then on the bottom, you do 1 times 1 times 1 times 3,600. And you should get 35.78 meters per second.